Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Ooh. Need an answer to your question? John, he'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome into GarageBand Weekly, where we are always professional. What's coming up on the show today? Well, it's our 2025 Apple Gear Roundup. Am I coming in too soon? We've still got 2 months left to the end of the year, but I think we're done. I'm going to call it right now and say that the 2025 lineup of Apple Gear, at least for most users, is here. Because once we hit November, it's holiday season, right? It's silly season, hence the headwear. So we'll be talking about all of the gear for 2025. I'll be giving you advice about what, if you're in the market for an iPhone, an iPad, a Mac, a MacBook Pro, whatever it is. Maybe a Vision Pro is on your Christmas wish list. We'll talk about that as we continue on here on GarageBand Weekly. We'll also answer any questions that you have. If you've got anything, any burning questions on the edge of your mind that you would like to ask, you can throw those in the chat. I'll just ask that you put a big Q in front of them. And if you're on the replay, you can also participate. Just drop into the comments. I've been doing this for coming up a decade now. And believe it or not, I've answered every single comment that has been left on every single video. Even the ones that say, Johns, you're a clown and you know nothing about music. I'm like, yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah, everyone's got their opinion. You know what they say? Opinions are like buttholes. I'm in a bit of a funny mood here today, as you can probably tell. But we are going to talk about some serious stuff. Yeah, we've got our news and notes section coming up in a moment. And then we're going to talk about all the Apple gear for 2025. I got some thoughts. They're not really hot takes. They're kind of medium, lukewarm takes. Because look, if you just want to watch the first 2 minutes of a show and say, Johns, let me know what you think of Apple's 2025 lineup, I'll be like, it's evolutionary, not revolutionary. 2025 is like 2024 plus 10%. It's like they put a little GST, like a little tax, a little VAT, a little sales tax on top, but they didn't put the prices up. So that's the big thing. So the two big things I'd say is that despite all of the talks of inflation and tariffs and cost of living, the price of your Apple gear is about the same in 2025 as it was in 24 and 23. That's a pretty good thing. In terms of, is there any device that is absolute game changer? No. Everything's just taken a little step up. So we'll talk about all of that as we go through. Thank you for the folks who are here live. We've got Mark Bro here. We've got Les Corox. We've got AJG, Matthew Mills, Alexander Dean Francis. Hello to Eric B. G'day to you. Hello to Al Davis Music as well. Hope you are all doing exceptionally well. Yes, the M5 chip. It is. It's better. It's gooder. I've got it on my new gear here, and it's good. We'll talk about it as we go through the show. All right, do we need to, yeah, okay. That was just for the folks who got here early. That was your little treat for being an early bird and catching the worm. And now you get to see my shiny, shiny head instead. Let's dive into the news and notes. The most important news in the world of GarageBand in the last week is that I actually created, recorded, and released a song using GarageBand. I know, hallelujah. It's the first GarageBand song I've completed in the last 12 months. And I think it's kind of rad. I don't know. Have you listened to it? It sounds like this. And everybody feels like they don't even know their purpose sometimes. So completely created in GarageBand, no logic involved, except I did switch over to Logic Pro for, that's me playing Ballatro. I did switch over to Logic Pro for the mastering. That's all that I did in Logic Pro. And ordinarily I'd get Jade Star to do the mastering, but I did actually master right here in Logic Pro for iPad, just using the mastering assistant. And if you haven't played around with this thing in a while, if you're like, it's not really that great, I got to tell you, I was impressed because it worked out what I usually do, which is don't have enough low end and have way too much mids. I turned up the dynamics a little bit there. I gave it a little bit of stereo spread. I just used the clean setting here and it all sounded great. It all sounded really good. And I think that that's kind of my thing these days is that I used to be all about the, oh, we've got to do things by hand and you've got to find workarounds and you've got to. No, I'm flip flopping on that. As Matthew says, mastering at Logic Pro is great. And it kind of is. It punches above its weight in terms of what you need to the point where even if you're not, let's just say that you're not a Logic Pro for iPad user, but you create everything in GarageBand, you're doing an album. I would rent Logic Pro, $5 for the month. I would rent it just to do your mastering, just to make sure your levels are good. Because the one thing GarageBand can't do, we've talked about it on this show and other videos a lot, is that it cannot manage your peaks. It cannot, if you're after a certain loss level, if you want to make sure that your masters are competitive and they're radio ready and they're friendly with other streaming platforms, it's really difficult. It's possible to do it in GarageBand, but more challenging. To give you an idea, I was working with a very cool artist recently was a client of mine that I was mixing and mastering their song, and I did all the mixing in GarageBand. It sounded great, and then I mastered it in GarageBand, and it sounded great, and then I threw it into Logic Pro and did a couple of masters, and it sounded epic. So just taking it from great to epic is a good thing. All right. Hello, Hugo Vera. GarageBand now in 30. Why it's only them making this? Yeah, look, it's maybe it's time for me to do a when will GarageBand come to the PC, to Android, to your Palm Pilot? It's not coming. No. So GarageBand is 100%. GarageBand and Logic Pro, they're only going to be on Apple Gear. I can all but guarantee you of that. Even though I'm the guy that said Logic Pro will never come to iPad, and then it did. Yeah. No, it won't, because Apple want to sell you iPads and iPhones and MacBooks and Macs because that's their flagship. Like iMovie and GarageBand, professional folks scoff at them and they're like, they're just for playing around with it. It's like, yeah, except when they're not, except when they get the job done. I know many, many people who create great videos and great music and great audio using nothing but GarageBand and iMovie. So go for it. All right, shall we talk about the news and the notes? So we'll talk about gear in a moment. Yeah, a lot of new gear from Apple, but that's our main topic, so we won't focus on that. One thing that's interesting, though, is that the new iPad, the repair paradox. So the new iPad is apparently much easier. The teardown showed that accessing all the components is much easier. But if you've never, and this is from iFixit, they did a teardown on the 13-inch iPad Pro M5. The challenge, though, is that the components still need to be paired. So basically, there's this bit of back and forth between Apple and between repairers, Apple saying that, yeah, we would like you to bring your thing into the Apple Store, and repairers saying, we have a right to repair, you need to allow us to do this. So what's actually happening now is that, yeah, it's much easier to get in there, which is going to make it easier for your Apple technicians and easier for other people, but without the genuine Apple parts to put in there that compare. So if you've ever done this, if you've ever broken your camera on your iPhone and then you've gone to like Dodgy Brothers iPhone repair store, they may be able to quote unquote fix your camera, but if they use a third-party camera that doesn't pair with, say, your Face ID component within the software, you can no longer use Face ID. We had this with my daughter's phone. Took it to Dodgy Brothers, they fixed it, but then she could never use Face ID again. So the trade-off there is, and the same with like fingerprint scanners. So anything that's kind of, especially the security side of things, if it doesn't pair back to the original Apple device, then yeah, they can't do it. Only Apple can do that. So Apple are saying, hey, we've given you the option to repair it. And repairers are saying, yeah, but unless we use your stuff and pay the premiums to put in the genuine parts, then they might as well take it to you anyway, because we have to pay a fortune to get these genuine parts. So it's just, I just thought it was an interesting thing that, yeah, it's like two steps forward, one step back, I guess, because things are getting easier to repair, easier to open up, which means that when you take it to Apple, they'll be able to fix it. But if you want to pay less and get it fixed by someone else, that could be a challenge. Yeah. Oh mate, there's so many. Every single shopping center I walk into these days, there is a dude with with a soldering iron, he's got someone's usually Android phone. Not gonna lie, because Apple people usually are like, no, I'm not touching that. I'm taking mine to the Apple Store. But yeah, they're everywhere, aren't they? These phone fix it repair shops. and you're like, you know what? Fix it at your own risk. But yeah, with Apple stuff, it can be challenging. Exactly. They fought the right to repair for years. And weirdly enough, it was actually easier in the old days. So when Apple were using Intel chips, when they were using independent, separate solid state drives and individual memory chips and components, it was a lot easier to repair because you could actually get in there and take things out, put things back in. The more integrated it gets, the harder that is. And with the M series chips, clearly, there's a lot of problems. Yeah, well, yeah, that's another thing. I don't talk about the leaks and the leakers, so I don't mention names and I don't talk about leakers here because I don't want to give them any prop. We do talk about some of the rumors, but I never go into detail about individuals. But yeah, don't do that. Don't leak things. It's boring anyway. I play video games, and there's leakers in video games now that like get the inside scoop, and it's like, let us have some joy, let us have some surprise in our life. It's why I love it when something just sneaks under there, when something comes out, and then all the leakers are like, oh well, yeah, well I actually did know that, but I didn't want to report it. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. All right, here's a question mark for you. Will AI do more harm than good for the music business? By the way, check all the links. These are all linked down in the description. And now I want a Fanta. Wanna Fanta. So an interesting article here about from Billboard about the negative impacts of AI, but will it outweigh the positive impacts? And you can have a read through in your own time. Oh, is that behind the paywall? How did I read it? Well, I'll summarize it for you. I mean, come on. I get it. You got to have subscriptions and you got to have things, but Billboard, really? I can't read a Billboard article. I definitely read it. Maybe I reached my Billboard article limit the other day. But yeah, sorry, I'm just going to my notes now so I can remember what they actually said in that article that I noted down here. Where are we? Yeah. So, yeah, record labels are divided. So some labels, mostly the independent labels and the smaller labels, think AI bad, not surprisingly. Most of the bigger record labels that think they can make some coin from it think AI good, which is also not surprisingly. Some see it as a discovery and promotion tool. Yeah, others as a nightmare. Major labels are moving to license AI rather than fight it. Yeah. So they fought it. They've already done the things with Udio and Suno, and there's been settlements and there's been lawsuits. And now they're like, okay, now it's our turn. We're going to actually do this. So yeah, how it will impact the label-artist relationship is interesting, isn't it? To see how this actually comes out in the wash, we will have to see. But it is a bubble. I kind of don't... some people are trying to claim it's not, and I'll be ranting about this. By the way, pre-warning, I'll be on Jade's show on Thursday night, Friday morning here in Australia, talking about businesses, big business, and how they kind of shaft us. The enshittification of all things online business, because we've seen a lot of it, and AI is just the latest in a long stream. We had crypto before this. We have, here in the music world, we had the course launch culture where everyone was either launching a course or launching a course telling you how to launch your course. So yeah, we've had the false review culture where people are just basically trying to get affiliate revenue by telling you that everything is great, and fake reviews and fake being paid, the payola cash for comment stuff where you do a review of a product and you have to only say good things about it. Thankfully, in this community, we don't see a lot of that. So hang around here because we'll give you the scoop. We'll give you the real stuff. So Canva, the free Affinity app. Now, I haven't looked at this in detail. I know Jade's covered the previous version on her channel before. But yeah, it's interesting things happening in the world of design, and it really is. So I jumped ship from the world of Adobe years ago. So I did actually have... I had a Premiere Pro. I had the full Adobe Creative Suite package. So I actually paid copious amounts. It was something like $40 a month that I paid. So yeah, hundreds of dollars a year for Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop. And then Canva came along and it said $10 a month and we'll do most of the stuff. So, so it kind of came in two parts. LumaFusion came out. Well, LumaFusion kind of had been around a while, but LumaFusion 2, I think, launched, and it was just amazing. And I shifted from Adobe Premiere on my PC to editing on LumaFusion on iPad and iPhone, and to this very day, as you'll see here, I edit all of my videos. There's my recent edit of my little song, my little play along of my song. So I edit all my stuff on LumaFusion on iPad, and I don't need Photoshop anymore because Canva has all the tools, just much easier. So with Canva, you can do all the things that I do. So your thumbnail design, your background removal, all of your editing, your magic lassos and everything can be done really well. So Affinity Photo, so Affinity Photo 2 is still free on iPad, so go get it. And go get it now because things change quickly. And we don't know what Canva exactly intend to do here. They do have a free tier for Canva, and then they do have a pro tier. So I can only assume that all the cool pro, and I'm a Canva Pro user, but all the cool pro features eventually get rolled into a paid service, because that's kind of how these businesses work. They work on the freemium model where they give you the basics for free, and then there's always those things that have the little pro tag next to them, and they're in the free version, but when you tap on it, it's like, no, this is a pro feature. Make sure that you sign up to pro. So, and I don't begrudge that because, companies got to make money. I'm a business. I got to make money. We've got to keep the lights on. So yeah, they will fire me. I'm pretty sure I'm still in their system somewhere. I don't know. There's probably some credit card I forgot about that's still getting charged $40 a month, Chris. Because it was just before they had the real controversy about being hard to leave. It was hard to leave, but it wasn't that hard to leave. Like I could actually go in there and cancel. But it was one of those cancellations where, the ones, you go in there and it's like, yes, I'd like to keep the benefits. And then there's a little tiny, almost grayed out, no, I'm a chicken, a coward, and a thief, and I'm going to go and use something else. And you have to click that. And it's like, are you really, really super sure? And then you go, yes, I am. And then it goes, what if we give you 50% off? And you're like, no. It's like, what if we give you a free month? And you're like, no. You're like, what if we come around to your place and cook you a chicken dinner? And you're like, no. And it's like, fine. And then it's like Hulk music as Adobe characters walk. Something like that. Yeah, maybe I need to put the hat back on. It's getting a bit weird around here. Alrighty. Yeah, so there you go. Affinity Photo Designer and Publisher 2 is still free. Get them while they're there. Get them while they're there. Alrighty. What else do we have in our news and notes? Scrolling down here. So I just said I don't talk about rumors, and then this is reported by Bloomberg, so I don't feel it super duper rumor. But so apparently the word on the street is, and again, Bloomberg want my credit card for access. So I won't even show the thing there, but I'll just summarize it for you. So Apple apparently are planning on bringing OLED displays because I've already got the OLED on the iPhone. So OLED's coming to iPads. If you don't know about OLED, it's basically just a better LED. It's organic light emitting diode is what it stands for. I've got an OLED TV and the difference is palpable. Like I was watching Ocean's 11 on the weekend in 4K on the OLED, and my goodness, like you could see Brad Pitt's nose hairs. Like it was that good. You're like, why would you want to see Brad Pitt's nose hairs? And it's like, I don't know. But yeah, so OLED displays would be kind of the next big jump because, we've got the Retina displays, the LED displays that we have. And look, the display on your iPads and your MacBook Pros right now is pretty rad. But OLED will just take it to the next level. So that's apparently coming. So if you're one of those people that are like, well, I won't buy because something cool's coming, then maybe just wait because that is something cool that might be coming. And finally, this one's interesting on Music Business Worldwide. So there's so many reports now of who it's like that thing where everyone's partnering up. It's like the end of the night. So this is the end of the AI boom, right? So we're about to hit the bubble. I know people will say, the comments are already filling with people telling me how wrong I am and how AI is going to be the next big thing for music. But we're bubbling out in the next year or so. But yeah, UMG strikes a strategic alliance with Stability AI to develop next generation AI making tools. And this is basically exactly what every label is doing now. So UMG, Universal Media Group, are one of the big, UMG, Sony, and I always forget the other one. Sony. Why am I blanking? Universal, Sony. I should just go to my copyright claims because they'd be in there somewhere. Someone will tell me in the chat here. I'm at that age now where I just sort of have little senior moments where I forget things every now and then. So it's that thing at the end of the night at a nightclub where everyone that's left behind is just like quickly trying to pair up before they start doing that annoying thing where they flick the lights on and off and turn off the music. So it's that point in the AI cycle now. So as the bar people are picking up the glasses and they're about to do the flicking lights on and off thing, all the companies, all the record labels are now trying to work with these AI companies. So OpenAI, Stability AI, Grok AI, Google with their, what is their one called? Gnome AI? No, what do they have? I can't remember the name of that either. But there's a bunch of different AI companies. And basically all they're doing is now they're trying to play the game of who is more ethical. So they're saying ethically sourced AI and legally sourced AI. So basically they've looked at Suno and Udio and said, you guys done wrong. You just basically went and absorbed all of the different stuff and just went, we're just going to use it and ask for permission later. And didn't work out so well. So yeah, now what they're doing is doing their own ethically sourced, which means, and ethically sourced, by the way, for the labels could just mean using their own labels, because a lot of the artist deals, if you read the record contracts that a lot of artists have signed in the past, they have really weird things in there. And at the time you think, what does this mean? But it says things like, yeah, not only do we own your masters and we own your likeness and we own all this, but there's lines in a lot of those contracts that are like, all existing and potential future markets, opportunities, platforms, technologies, because they all kind of got shafted. Like the record labels got a little bit screwed with the move from analog to digital and then from digital to streaming. So we went from CDs and tapes and records to buying things on mp3.com and iTunes to streaming through things like Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon Tidal, all the rest. So they've now built into all these contracts to say, we own you. And if something new comes up, if something fancy and new comes up in the future, we also own you for that. So it means that the record labels can and will just push all of their stable of artists' music into the AI platforms, and ethically, or at least legally, they can do that, which is different from a company that doesn't have any affiliation with any of the artists, just absorbing and using their music to produce AI music. So it will be bad. Yeah, not sorry to burst their bubble. It'll be happening. It'll be happening. Warner Music, thank you. Warner, UMG, and Sony are the three big uns. Alrighty, yeah, approved to transform your audio. And Spotify are already doing this, and I just asked the question, and correct me, like this is probably the wrong audience, because many of you kind of have similar thoughts to me, but who's asking for this? Who's actually wanting this in particular? Outside of the record companies who would love to make the same amount of revenue and pay half the cost, who else wants this? To consume? Is there not enough music created by humans out there for consumers to have a choice from? I would argue that there is too much already. As someone that says everyone should create, record, and release their best music, and I do believe that, I'm also aware of the reality that we have a fairly saturated market when it comes to indie music right now. It just is. As soon as you lower the barrier to entry, you increase the amount of stuff that's out there. And that increases the quality, but it also increases the poor quality stuff. And the same thing happens with live streaming, and the same thing happened with YouTube content. Now that everyone can have a pretty good quality microphone, pretty good quality camera, and access to streaming software or recording software, guess what? Everyone's a podcaster, everyone's a live streamer, everyone's a YouTuber. And I don't care about that. I've always been the high tide raises all ships. And the other thing I was talking about the other day with some folks is that people come and go, but it actually takes the resilience. It looks all shiny when you start. Like, how many people are like, oh, I just started a new podcast, bro. Yeah, we're at episode 4. And then you meet them a month later and I'm like, oh, how's the podcast going? Yeah, we got 5 episodes in and just wasn't getting the traction. We didn't get enough sizzle. And it's like, no, you just didn't get instant gratification, success, and dopamine hits, and you were too lazy to keep trying. Which, is a good thing, because if everyone, again, I don't have all the talent and I don't have all the answers and I don't have all the technical knowledge and expertise. The one thing I think I have that works well in this medium and platform is longevity and stick-to-itiveness. and the ability to push through when things are good and when things are bad and when things are somewhere in between. So there we go. Yeah, and look, it needs to work out its business model. It needs to work out how it's going to pay for all of its energy use as well as all of its GPU use, and it's a solution waiting for a problem. Yeah, just skip to the awkwardness of cigarettes. Why bother with the fun of having a romp with your partner? Yeah, yeah. It's look. I don't want to. It's not really Schadenfreude to sort of get pleasure from the downfall of other people, but a little bit is. And I don't want to have to say I told you so, but I probably will. I'll probably be that annoying I told you so person when the all the people that have criticized me in the comments and that constantly tell me why you got to be so negative, and I'm like, I don't actually think I'm that negative. And again, I don't want to also be those negative people that just say, I'm just a realist, I just tell it like it is, I call a spade a frickin' shovel. I don't want to be like that either, but I also can see this happening. It's like it's pattern. It's patterns. History never repeats, said Split Ends. But that's if you listen to that song, I tell myself before I go to sleep. It's like, no, it never repeats. It never repeats. That'll be the catch cry of the AI bros. History never, except it'll be an AI version, so it'll be. Hang on, how do I make this? History never come. Tell myself overcompressed, artifacty, rubbish. All right. That is our news and notes section. Time to dive in to our main topic. Hello to Denise, by the way. Hello to Fat Panda Cat, who I said g'day to, who we were chatting with. Bradley McKnight came to the rescue there. Hello, Chris Lane Senior. Yes, rants for the win. Yeah, if you are here and you do have any questions, feel free to go ahead and let me know. Just put a Q in the comment there. And if you'd like to like the show, feel free to hit the like button. I know it's annoying. I know I'm kind of just like, like, comment, subscribe, like every other YouTuber, but they're all doing it, so I kind of have to do it. If we all could come to an agreement that no one hits the like button and no one comments and subscribes and does all the things, I promise I would stop saying it. But I've worked out, unfortunately, that if I stopped saying it entirely, I would not get enough love from the YouTube robots, and then I would not be able to keep doing this, and then I would have to go away. So yeah, if you could do me a solid and hit the thumbs up button, it's just down below. It's an easy one to tickle there. Down there, you'll also find my GarageBand FAQ with all of the answers to all your GarageBand questions and all the links to all the news and notes, including the most important one, which is this one here. Yes, my brand new original song. GarageBand's 30 years old. When was it? Was 2008. No, it's not. Oh, hang on. When was GarageBand Mac? Should we ask? Let's see how accurate ChatGPT will be on this one. That's a good question. When was GarageBand first launched for Mac? He got up there. It was with John Mayer, wasn't it, on stage? 2004. So it is 21 years old. Coming up 22 years old. Who was the artist? Who was the artist on stage? It was John Mayer, wasn't it? Body's a wonderland. Yep, it was John Mayer. Body's a wonderland, take my hand. Body's a wonderland. Yeah, as Tremor Bear's saying, don't make Bear angry. Hit the like button for Tremor Bear. Am I aware of the new GarageBand iOS update? Clearly not. Otherwise, I would have led with that. There's a new GarageBand iOS update. Let's check it out, shall we? Let's see if I have updated or if it is here. It always happens. It always happens. I've got my show set up, and must admit, I had it set up about 2 days ahead. But we'll come in here to our apps and check out GarageBand. Let's see what version we're at and see if there isn't actually an update. Maybe. Let's see. GarageBand Weekly. So I'm on version 2.3.17, which is the last version. Let's see if we go to the App Store. and we'll see. You know what? Why don't I bring you across here with me? I can show you. I can show you. I must have. I'm still not used to the windowing thing here. So everything's like in Windows, and yeah, it kind of throws me off. I feel like I'm in a different platform when I'm here. GarageBand. Do we have an update? Hey, wait, what a minute. Why is it that logo now? That's different. It's iOS 26 only. What do we think of that? So you can see there, in fact, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. You can see there the differences between the two, that one and that one. So it's 26 only, and it's just bug fixes. All right, let's come down here and see what bugs. So it might, I wonder if it fixes the bugs that I've had recently. Where is the update stuff? I swear they move this stuff around, or I just forget where it is. There. Used to be able to, not ratings and reviews. There used to be the update bits just underneath it. Before I update, what's new? There it is. Got to click on this, don't you? 2.3.18, 4 hours ago. This update includes stability improvements and bug fixes. There you go. That's what you get. So what I might do is while we rant about Apple products, why don't we update it? Oh, first of all, let's see. So the main bug that I have at the moment is the auto centering bug, which I really dislike. So that's still definitely there. So what this does is when you're trying to move across to go onto a specific bar, it does this floating auto centering, which is not something it should do. Because say I'm trying to find 46, you have to like tap it like that. So that's one bug. The other bug that a lot of folks are having at the moment is with Bluetooth devices. When you're using a Bluetooth device, it's get rid of my Balatro game. When you're using a Bluetooth device, it won't open. And it's weird because as soon as you disconnect your Bluetooth audio device, it'll open. And then you can reconnect it and it works. So I found that bug when I was doing the mixing on my AirPods in a recent video. And I was like, okay, so that's a thing. What I'll do is I'll update this and I'll try and find the update note because there's usually update notes over on the Apple website that are a bit more detailed. Don't know. I think I see what they're doing there. The logo looks a lot more like the Mac logo, doesn't it? So they've gone with this sort of, again, they've gone back to the almost skeuomorphic, haven't they? Because that's like a 3D looking guitar there, as opposed to the very kind of 2D two-tone thing we have down here. So we'll watch it in real time as it spins around. Yeah, T-Burst 335, yeah, which looks nice. Looks nice, but they're not allowed to say what sort of actual guitar it is. Alrighty. All right, so that's done. Let's open it up and see. I'll just see. Yeah, okay. Yes, sound library. Do we have anything new? No. All right. So if we come, oh, that's the wrong version of it. That doesn't matter. We'll go to the actual correct version, which is number 5. So let's see. Have they fixed this? Hey, there you go. You can see in real time what a bug fix looks like. They have finally fixed the auto center bug. I don't know how they let that be in there for so long, but so yeah, I guess you have to be on iOS 26 to get this. Which, you know what? I reckon it's about time. If you're not on iOS 26, and again, you're not in the middle of a major project, I haven't had any major bugs apart from the continuing problems like that auto center bug that we had. So it's good because as soon as you stop it, then it auto centers. That's the behavior it's supposed to have. Donk, like that. There you go. All righty. Still hoping for. Oh, mate. Like, yeah. Let's just see. Is there one in here? Advanced settings. Wouldn't that be funny if I just opened this and it said auto normalization on off? What is used with music apps? Has that been there before? Probably. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything new. Let's check the the settings in the settings app, because this is where you usually get the more advanced settings. Sorry, going off a bit off script here, but I didn't realize we had this new update. Reset, enable, keyboard note labels, support MPU controllers, automate recording, knob gestures, knobs, mobile data. Yeah, this is all the same stizzle as before. Yeah, see, I don't use third-party apps, so I got no problem with that. So yeah, I'm moving all my stuff across because I've got like haven't updated this Mac yet, but I've updated my laptop, and okay, so that's all the same. But yeah, always be careful. Like, don't do it unless you have to. I mean, if you're a GarageBand user and you don't use a lot of third-party apps, then absolutely, because that auto centering bug is a pain in the booty. But yeah, if you're same thing. We've been saying this for decades now. If you're in the middle of a big project, do not update, because you just never know. Like, why risk it? If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's a lot of Nashville studios that are running like Pro Tools 7 on 2008 Mac Pros. Like, yeah, if it works, it works. You don't need the latest and greatest all the time, despite what is told to us. All right, let's jump into our main topic because we've got 22 minutes left to do it, which it will be fine. Won't take us long. Actually, we've got a question before we do. Matthew Mills, any experience or opinions of connected MIDI controllers and live performances? So a lot of the folks who use GarageBand on Mac use, now I've never used it, but someone will tell me what it is. Stage manager, backstage, main stage. Use main stage as their live, because that's sort of like more designed for live performance. I mean, I've used GarageBand and hooked up MIDI controllers for live performance before. It works and it's pretty good. Jade uses her iPad for live like audio processing as well. So yeah, you can use it. Pretty low latency. So yeah, it's pretty good for live performances. So whenever you've seen me playing a keyboard on a live stream, it's been a MIDI keyboard through either GarageBand or Logic Pro playing an instrument there. So, and in terms of what, pretty much any MIDI keyboard, if you're using it with your iPad or your iPhone, it needs to be class compliant. So it can't have drivers required to use it. And the vast majority of your entry-level to mid-range MIDI keyboards, your M Audios, your Akai's, they're all class. Your Arturias, they're all class compliant. So yeah, you're pretty good. I like M Audio just because they're good bang for buck. They're reasonably priced, and you can get everything from the 25 key right up to a full 88 key weighted. And yeah, they have all the things you need and nothing you don't, and they work with everything. I've never had someone buy an M Audio, try to hook it up, and say it didn't work. So that's my experience and my recommendation. But yeah, if you go to the gear guide, studiolivetoday.com/gear. Hello, Hari Maya. Yes, Tool are my spirit animal. I'm going to see them in, like 2 weeks' time. Oh, it's coming up fast. So yeah, they're coming to Australia. So let's talk about gear. What should you buy? This is actually going to be really quick because iPhone. So let's start with iPhone. Look, it's their absolute flagship product. First of all, if you are buying stuff, the Apple website is actually surprisingly good for an actual, like, don't look at all the marketing stuff. Go straight to this bit. Go straight to compare. And in fact, you got to go to iPhone first. iPhone and compare. Compare. This is where you're going to be able to see what's going on here. So if you were trying to decide between the latest models, I did a video on this recently, so you can just watch my video, or you can come in here and you can clearly see the price difference between them. You can see all the major specs there, and look, it keeps them up the top there for you. So it's actually a really good way to compare these. So aluminium unibody, titanium frame, aluminium frames. Basically, at this point in time, it's really just around to style that you want here. If you're a pro and you want the pro, you can get the pro. Most people will be fine with the regular. And look, the Air is for a very particular subset of folks that want lower battery life, but still good performance and something they can show off to look cool. It's flex value, isn't it? But yeah, way less battery life than the Pro there. But this is a great place if you're just like, what is the difference between blah and blah and blah? What is it? And this is where I like to send folks. So let's just say that you're rocking a 14, well, let's just go the 15 Pro and we'll go the 13 Pro. So if you're on a 13 or a 15 and you're trying to decide, hey, do I need to upgrade at this point? Look how many different colors we used to have. The Pro used to come in green, for goodness sake. Oh, why do we have less colors now? But we got orange. Orange is available. So obviously you can't see the price because these are older models. But yeah, you can actually see, oh, okay, so if I could move to the 15 or the 17, it's got the always on display. But if I'm on the 15 already, I don't really need to go to the 17 because I've already got the always on display. Camera control, so if you care about the camera control, oh, mine doesn't have that, but that's thing. So you can see really quickly what the differences are here. So you can see the different chips that you have. You can see the battery life improvements over time. You can see like all the additional, the center stage photos, the dual capture. I actually kind of love the dual capture. If you saw me in Sydney, I used the dual capture to do a couple of videos in Sydney and it was kind of fun. So yeah, this is the place to go to check out the difference because yeah, and things like this. So your optical zoom options going up to 8 times, which is not actually optical. It's not actually an 8 times optical. It is software enhanced, which we used to call digital zoom. It's not actually an 8 times optical zoom. Anyway, let's not get into Apple's naming conventions. You can't use Apple Intelligence. So yeah, so if you're running a 13 Pro Max and you're like, I really want to use Apple Intelligence, said no one ever, then yeah, you can find that out. So that's your iPhones. If we look, and look, if you've got I would say, if you've got a 14 or a 15 or a 16 right now, the 17 is not essential. If you're on a 13, 12, 11, 10, I think that an upgrade, the 17 is actually a great phone. So that's where I'd be with that at the moment. iPads, we've obviously got the new iPad Pro, iPad Air, iPad Mini, iPad. Again, you can do the compare thing here and jump in and see the differences here. And again, if you wanted to compare like the brand new M5 with maybe you've got an Air like me, you've got a 20, where is it, iPad Pro? Oh, it's impossible to find the models that we have. I have the the iPad Pro. I think I have the second generation, the 2020 model. I can only tell because it's got A12Z Bionic chip there. So yeah, if I wanted to compare mine with the latest and greatest, I could come in and do that. And of course, you can compare the iPad Air models as well. Where is the sweet spot right now? I still think it's the iPad Air. I still think, because look, what do you lose with the iPad Air? You don't get the iPad Pro screen. A lot of people doing audio don't care that much about the screen, and you don't get the camera system. I don't think I've ever used the 2 or 3 camera system on my iPad Pros to do a whole lot of anything. They're kind of sitting there on the back. I use the front-facing camera a bit. I don't use the rear camera. So for the iPad Air, you get a lot of the stuff. So you don't get ProMotion on the display. You don't get the nano glass thing, but you're getting like an M3 chip here. And obviously you don't get the M5, but you get the M3 chip on there. You've got all of the same sort of stuff that you can do here. You don't have the true depth camera system. You still got USB-C. The other thing you don't have is Thunderbolt. So if you are doing video, I would say iPad Pro. If you are doing purely audio, I would say iPad Air, because you don't get the Thunderbolt for connecting up faster drives, and you don't get that ProMotion display and the high-end display on there. So if you're doing video and you need color correction, and you need the ability to take good video and photos with it, and you need the ability to hook up Thunderbolt drives, that's where you go the Pro. Everyone else, I think the Air. And you know what? For people starting out, the vanilla iPad is actually ridiculously good. Like just the straight-up iPad. For $349, it's actually stupid good. If I had a kid, I do have kids, but if my kids were more into music creation, I would buy an iPad just straight up. And look, it will even run Logic Pro, not well, but it will even run Logic Pro a bit. But yeah, if you're using GarageBand, it's for the win. What about Macs? Oh, we've got some new Macs. We've got Macs out the wazoo. We don't have the Mac Mini M5. I think someone was talking about that earlier. But the Mini, like the M4 Mini, the new one there. I know Thomas Christ has one. They are brilliant for $5.99, and apparently, people are thinking that the M5 might be coming out soon because they've seen price reductions. Apparently, there's some places like your Best Buys and your Amazons where you can pick these up for like $4.99 for the base models now, which is just ridiculous. If you told me, 7 years ago when I didn't own a single Mac and never had, that you could pick up a very high-end Mac Mini for like less than $1,000 and an entry-level one for $500, I'd be like, no, no, you can't. No, you can't do that. So you can explore all the Mac range. When you're talking about a Mac and you're talking GarageBand, because that's what we're here for, it really comes down to whether you want laptop or desktop. So that's kind of your first question. Do you want to hook it up to a monitor? Will you be doing most of your recording in one place, or would you like the freedom to move around? Now, the ultimate thing is to have a laptop that you can then also connect to a screen. If you're doing that, I would recommend the Pro. Reason being is that the MacBook Air doesn't have HDMI out and it only has one additional USB-C port. It doesn't have Thunderbolt, only one USB-C port. By the time you're charging it, and if you want to connect it up to an external display, that's about it. That's about all you can do. So if you want to then hook up like MIDI keyboards and you want to hook up audio interfaces and other things, you're going to struggle with that. So I would say it comes down to, if you are in a home studio and you want to get a Mac, I would say get the Mac Mini. If you're starting out, if you're using GarageBand, if you want more of a powerhouse, let's see all the models here. Nope, hang on, where's my proper compare that we have before? There we go. So I would go the Mac Mini if you are looking for that. The Mac Studio, does that say M4 Max? That's not right, is it? Does the Mac Studio have the M4 Max in it? Did I miss a meeting? Why does it say M3 Ultra and M4 Max? Is that right? Oh, I don't recall that. So they didn't upgrade the Ultra on the M4. They only upgraded it on the M3. I don't remember that. There's too many things going on here. Anyway, I would go the Mac Studio if you want like the ultimate Logic Pro, or you're doing lots of video and stuff. In terms of your laptops, the brand new one, the MacBook M5, doesn't have the Pro chip, but it does have the port configuration. So it does have the ports that you want here, which is your HDMI and your USB-C and SD card reader on that side, and it has your two USB-C/Thunderbolt. It also has a headphone jack, which you might think, yeah, right, whatever. But if you've got like studio headphones, you can still plug them into a headphone jack. If you're just mixing and you're on the go, don't poo-poo a headphone jack, right? It's still a thing. And thankfully it's still on it's on the Studio, it's on the Mac Mini, it's on all the stuff. So it's good. Who is the Air for then? So if I'm saying, look, get a Mini or a Studio if you're a desktop, and always get the Pro if you're on laptop, who is the Air for? I don't think it's cheaper enough. So this is the thing. When I bought my Pro, I did exactly this. I went the M4 Pro versus the M4 Air. And I started looking at this and I went, yeah, look, it starts at $9.99. And you might be thinking, well, that when I was 16. I'm like, why is that so much more expensive? It's because I went the 16-inch. So $9.99 versus $19.99. But here's the thing. The entry level of each is quite different. So if you come down here, 14 core versus 10 core, 20 core GPU versus 10 core, up to, yeah. But the base model of each of these is much lower. So when I was buying mine, by the time I souped up all the Air, it was almost at $2,000. And then I went over to the $2,000 MacBook Pro and went, hey, I get the ports, I get the better screen, I get the HDMI out, and I'm kind of not making any compromises. So I think if you want to get in at the absolute base, then the MacBook Air 13-inch is okay. But look at this. When you go in here to buy it, don't make the mistake that me and Tom made when we got our Mac Minis to begin with. You kind of don't want to go with the lowest configuration here, because you're only going to get 16 gig and 256 of storage. You kind of want to at least go up to this next model, which is going to be $11.99. And then by the time you go to here, 24 gig and 512, it's $13.99. And I would actually go with at least a terabyte of storage as well. So you can see how you can quickly, it becomes a bit of a false economy, because you start adding things in here and suddenly your price is very close to that Pro. So if you do want the cheapest, Yep, for sure, go with that. But for most folks, you'll want that. We're not going to talk a heap about all the other things, but of course, we have the new Vision Pro that was released. We had the new Apple Watch series that was released. I do have it on loan from Apple. It's great, but if you have a Series 10 or Series 9, I don't think you need the latest Apple Watch. The one thing I will say that I am loving is the new AirPods. They've that it's the fourth version of the AirPods Pro, and they've kind of hit the sweet spot with these things. And as those that have spoken to me on the phone or have had like chats with me, they'll know that I've had the AirPods Pro since the first models. So one was good, great audio sound, absolute potato for a microphone. The twos were better, slightly better fit, better active noise cancelling, microphone still garbage. The third generation, they've really perfected everything. Sorry, I said four, it's three. The third generation, they've kind of done everything right. So the microphones, they've added more microphone points now, so it's a more natural microphone sound. It doesn't do that weird cutting in, cutting out thing that it used to do. The audio quality is great. Transparency mode is what I use most of the time because I'm out walking around and I don't want to get run over. So I normally have them on transparency mode. The active noise cancelling gives me a headache, but that's not Apple's fault. That's all active noise cancelling gives me a headache because I just don't like that sucked in feeling it gives you of not being able to hear the world. I don't know. I rely on someone with one eye. I rely on my ears for being able to sort of hear and sense and find my way around. So I think that these are, despite being expensive, they are like kind of a vital tool. And the fact that I tried doing some mixing on these and it actually worked well, I literally had, this was the setup. This was my studio for when I was in Sydney. It was my iPhone 17 and my AirPods Pro. And all I did was fired up GarageBand on here. And I made the video as well. So the audio that you heard of me out walking around, I didn't connect up any fancy microphones or anything. I just used the audio from the phone and then a bit of the audio from here. And when I was doing my mixing in GarageBand, you were hearing me talking through these while I was listening through these. And if you watched that video, like it wasn't this quality, it wasn't studio quality, but it was pretty good. So I can't recommend the AirPods Pro 3 highly enough. I know it's $250 for a pair of earbuds, and not everyone's going to be an earbud fan. A lot of people will only use over-the-ear headphones. But if you are on the go like me, if you're using iPads and MacBooks and iPhones, and you just want to have something that slips in your pocket, that is always there, that is available 24/7, the AirPods Pro are good. Alrighty, let's see. I think we had a couple of questions that came in while I was ranting there. Let's see. Yeah, so Studio has the M4. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that it did. Where was a question? Harry Meyer. Speaking about DistroKid, is there a discount on Ultimate Plan on Peace Channel? I'm thinking about changing distributor. Yeah, so with DistroKid, all you need to do is if you go to Studio Live today, Thomas Christ has probably already told you this. If you go to studiolivetoday.com/distrokid, you can jump in there and you'll get 7% discount on any plan you go to. Whoops, I've gone to the wrong web page. Go to the link. There's a link linked down below, and if you go to that one, it will take you straight to my VIP link, and then you can sign up, and it will give you 7% discount on your first year. So go and try that. Yeah, any M series iPad with sufficient storage, and it's the same with your Macs. If you've got an M series Mac with at least 512 gig of storage and at least 16 gig of RAM, you're done. The export menu has changes. It does? Okay. All right. We'll check that out at the end. We might go into overtime. Blow the whistle. We're going to go into overtime because I want to check some things out here, and we don't have that. Just got an iPhone 17 Pro. Yes, they are good. The only bad thing is the case. Why does this clear case have a big white rectangle on this one? It makes no sense. I don't like it. Yes, I know. I haven't seen Tool live in 20 years, since the Anima tour. So that's going to be exciting. It's probably more than 20 years, probably like 30 years. And I think I saw, if you did have a question, I haven't answered it. Oh, there it is. I know Matthew Mills, we answered the mini controller question. If you have any other questions and I didn't answer them, please do let me know and throw them again in here now, because I've probably forgotten and missed them and skipped over them. I think Tremor Bear had a question. M3 Max, should I go to the M4 Max Studio and give my laptop to my wife? I mean, it depends how much you like your wife. No. Yeah, the performance upgrade is not going to be great. The fact that you have like a desktop, and I don't know, I like a desktop. I've always been a bit weird, and I've always liked a desktop. I've tried living the laptop plug-in to monitor life, and it works until it doesn't, until some weird lid closing thing makes the screens all change and flip around. I like the fact that I can walk in here, turn on, and my two screens are here, and all my stuff's plugged in, and it's all working all the time. So yeah, in terms of having your space, if you always record in one space, I think the Mac Studio is delightful. Plus, it's got bigger cooling and bigger space for fan in there. So yeah, you'll future-proof yourself for sure. So yeah, you got the budget for it? Why not? I say, why not? Is it possible to record guitar using a Ugreen USB-C adapter and monitor the audio in GarageBand iOS at the same time with headphones? Is it possible to record guitar with a Ugreen USB-C adapter? So what would you plug your guitar into? Would be my question there. So the answer to that is usually you'll need an audio interface to plug your guitar into. So if you've got the Ugreen USB-C adapter, so you've got a USB-C hub, you'll need some sort of audio device plugged in there, and pretty much every audio interface, guitar interface device these days has its own headphone jack. So in the short answer there is anytime you plug a USB audio device into your iPhone or iPad via a Lightning to USB connector or a USB-C connector for more recent stuff, it becomes the audio input and output. So yeah, there are some, and I know Mark was looking for one of these when he first sort of started using iPads and iPhones and stuff. There are some. So if you go to Amazon and you search up, no, go to Amazon.com in the US. Deliver to. I have to do this every time. I always deliver to 50701 because it's similar to my postcode, and it takes me to Waterloo, Iowa. So I'm always getting stuff fictionally sent to Waterloo, Iowa. So let's come over to here. So the adapter, the Ugreen USB, Ugreen USB-C adapter that I use and recommend, which is this the one, the Zendock. This is the one that I'm literally using right now here. It's $12. It is freaking rock solid, and I've never had a single problem. I've got USB-C power pass-through. You plug that into your iPad or your MacBook or your iPhone, and then you've got 3 USB-A ports and a USB-C power pass-through, and it says 4K HDMI. Doesn't really do 4K, but that's fine. I'm happy with 1080p. But yeah, this thing, if you buy one thing, in fact, I need to buy another one because mine's lasted for ages, but I'm tempting fate and it's probably going to fail at some point. But the thing is, if you do have something like this, you'll then need to plug something in via USB. So there's no way to plug your guitar in here. If you use one of those cheap USB guitar adapters, then yeah, no, it's going to try and play the audio back either through this or through the built-in onboard sound, and it won't particularly work. So you usually need to have some monitoring. So there are some USB. No, go away. There are some. Oh, deliver to Australia. I didn't want to deliver to Australia. I said deliver to anyway. So there are USB-C hub with headphones, but the audio quality on these is kind of rubbish. So if you went with something like this, so you can go with this, a 9-in-1 multi-port adapter. So this has got power pass-through, all the USB, it's got HDMI, it's got micro USB, it's got mini, SD card slot and a headphone jack. But the quality of the audio on those is pretty bad. So I would go with, rather than that, just get yourself a cheap. Do they still do the Behringer? Behringer no, what were they called? Behringer audio card. They have these really cheap Behringer. Yeah, these things here. Oh, they're not actually that cheap anymore. But these things are pretty cool. Oh, that's right. They only have phono inputs. So yeah, if you're capturing devices, they don't have guitar inputs. But this is what I use where I need basically like a DAC, like a digital audio converter on the go. I've got one of these Behringer U controls, because it has headphones, optical output, volume control there, and then you've got input and output to RCA. So you can hook up devices and use it that way. But it's also good to just plug in via USB as like just a makeshift audio card. So I've used these on like old laptops that have broken audio chips. I've used these on iPhones and iPads where I just need audio output. So you could plug one of these in as well, but then you're paying another for 50, 60 bucks on top of that. So possible, but probably not. And yeah, and that's the other thing. You get the latency. The cheaper those audio converters are, the more latency you're going to get. Yeah. Yeah. I think the M Audio has an audio adapter with USB-C. Yeah. So absolutely. So you can get one that's just a straight plug-in, like USB-C audio interface. So the M Audio, what is that one? Is it the M Track? M Track Solo. That's the Duo. So yeah, they do have the M Track Solo. Anyway, you can get the Solo, which is even cheaper than this. But yeah, a lot of them are USB-C these days. It doesn't really matter. You can convert USB and USB-C. So what does this have on the back of it? Won't show me. Yeah, okay, it's regular USB. But yeah, so you can plug in basically anything. And a lot of the newer ones do have. 64 enough for memory? My M3 has 64 memory. Yeah. Yes. Can go to 96 if you want absolute future proofing. I haven't seen anyone that's been using, especially for audio. Logic Pro 64 is just crushing it. I mean, I was using Logic Pro on my Mac Mini M1 with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it was doing fine. So I think 32 is great, 16 is fine, 64 is absolutely plenty. If you can find the Xbox or PlayStation Rock Band leads, they have they have a 3/4 jack and USB and work well. There you go. Yeah, try that out. Try that out. But yeah, the M Audio Solo or IK. So I should mention IK Multimedia, the iRig Pro HD. How much do they sell for these days? $100. These ones here. If you're just doing guitar stuff, these are great. The Pro IO, if you want a microphone as well. But these things, like if you're doing guitar, like these things are great. 96 kilohertz, 24-bit, can plug it into anything. So it comes with all the different cables. It does have that dicky little IK Multimedia plug adapter, which annoys me. But yeah, it does everything that you need it to do. And you can get the older version there, which is the same price for some reason. The iRig HD2, but the HDX, X means cooler. So yeah, but yeah, you can try the cheaper ones too if you want to know. See you later, Mark Bro. Only downside with the M Track is 16-bit, which is not great for 20. Yeah, exactly. Same with so Behringer and M Audio. Basically, the audio interfaces you get for under $100. Usually, the trade-off is no balanced outputs, so only RCA outputs for your monitor speakers, and no 24-bit. So most of them are 16-bit. So that's usually the trade-off that they get. And sometimes the preamps, so the microphone preamps, are a little noisier, so they're not as clean. But if you go with a Focusrite or a Steinberg or something like that, you're usually pretty good. We will finish off in just a jiffy. I do want to see if we can find those GarageBand release notes. We'll see. GarageBand for iOS and iPad release notes. And then we will send you over because Frank Terzo is the guest on Frank Terzo's show today, which is pretty cool. It's only giving us the 2.3.17. This is annoying. This is very annoying. Look. So maybe that sometimes there's articles for the, maybe we need to come in via here. No, that's Mac. It's really not arranged well. A year ago, Apple updates. 2017. Oh look, there's that guy. Yeah, this is a problem, trying to find these release notes. Sometimes if you go in here if you try App Store, GarageBand iOS, it can work. GarageBand on the App Store. So here it is, and here's the version notes. What's new? Yeah, so it's only 5 hours ago. I don't think they've actually updated with the actual release notes, which is a pain. If anyone wants to help us find these, if you find them, you'll be my favorite friend for a life. If you go to the developer website, sometimes if we come through here into support, it'll give us the latest. But no, update your apps. No, we're not there. We're not there. I might have to dig around in my own time because, yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere on here. There's definitely no link to here from there. Yeah, because ordinarily under the what's new, it'll have like that, but then there'll be a separate section, like a developer section, where you can actually look at the release notes, which is what I thought the other ones were before. GarageBand release notes. This one here, but it's definitely going to that. What if I do a shift hit? No, there's definitely nothing. Well, that's sad. You would think that when they release a new version of GarageBand, they would put out the release notes straight away. Now, Mark said that there was something. What did you say, Mark? There was something in the export for GarageBand. We'll have to find it this way. Actually, I wonder. No, it doesn't have it in here, does it? Let's have a look. Bump, 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 bump. All right. So, what do we have new in export? Oh, Thomas Christ has found it. Thomas Christ is our hero. So 106.346 US 106.346. That's where I'm at. But it's only showing me 2.3.7. Is it showing you 2.3.18 if you go there, Thomas? It might be a caching thing. Maybe it wants me to open it in Safari. This would be so Apple if I open it in Safari and it takes me to 2.3.18. Nah, it's still 2.3.17. Thought that's where I wanted to be, but yeah. It's 2.3.18 on yours. Oh, mate. Yeah, okay. How much work do we make Thomas Christ do here? Thomas, can you send me a screenshot or a copy paste of the release notes? Because I simply can't get to them even when I try and fully refresh. You can see where is my 18? Why am I being punished? You know what? Let's try it on the iPad. Let's go to Safari on the iPad. All right. What would we do? I know. What would we do without TC? It begs to not ask that question. GarageBand release notes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's even on the iPad, it's still the same. What about the iPhone? Let's just try everything I have. GarageBand release notes. Right, open a new tab. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I don't know. What the heck is this? Maybe what if I get rid of the AU? AU. No. Maybe if I get rid of the English entirely. No. What was the exact link that Thomas sent? English US. Let's try the English US one. All right, so let's go back to here. And instead of AU, what if we go to US? Just to see if we can trick it. Oh, that's racist. That's anti-Australian, it is. So there's your trick. It's if you go to the, because it defaults you to whatever your country is. So they haven't updated the Australian English. Crikey! But they have updated the US English page. Good Lord. All right. What time does Frank start? Let me just check on that. I don't want to run too far over, but I think we might have a couple of minutes up our sleeves. Because of all the time changes, I think everything's a bit later now, isn't it? Frank is on it. Oh, he's not on for another hour. Let's hang out. Let's hang out for a bit longer. I don't think so. I don't think Adelaide is connected. Oh, thank you, Thomas. Thank you. You're a legend, mate. I appreciate you. Sorry to do that. Sorry to make you have to go to that extra effort when it was really just user error. Because if I just copied you a link here, not just compared the numbers, I would have realized that. Okay. Now that we've got here, let's go through this stuff. We're in overtime, by the way. We're going to do this today because why not? All right. What do we got? Stability. GarageBand will no longer become unresponsive or quit unexpectedly after dragging an audio region from one position to another. Good. Songs now open reliably if they contain a touch instrument using the Sweet Cream lead synth preset. I had no idea there was a Sweet Cream lead synth preset. GarageBand now reliably remains responsive after dragging an audio file from... that's a good one. We'll be doing that. So this is, by the way, the reason I'm doing this now is this is the rest of my day. Because guess what? Tomorrow's video. Try to act surprised when you see tomorrow's video, which is what's new in GarageBand 2.1. Resolved an issue where GarageBand would quit unexpectedly when connecting to a Bluetooth device. VoiceOver now correctly reads the state of the record button. Oh my God. For our vision impaired friends, was it saying it's recording when it's not recording and not recording when it's recording? That wouldn't be annoying. Drummer characters can now be changed by swiping their picture. Ooh, we'll have to try this. Dragging and dropping audio files to the sampler now works. Ooh. Loading the Echo Wah preset no longer causes the screen to go blank. Oh, some of these bugs make me laugh. Projects that include the moving sound preset in Alchemy no longer unexpectedly display a missing sound alert when open. Cool. Volume automation curves are now properly included when duplicating a track. Actually, have they fixed? We'll check that in a minute. Have they fixed the automation bug where if you put 2 points for a fade out, it wouldn't fade it out. It would go straight from full to down, and you had to put one in between. We'll check that in a minute. Undo, changing the time signature now correctly creates an undo step. Good. So you couldn't undo changing the time signature. Audio output continues to function even after undoing or replacing a take recording. I didn't know that was a thing. Toggling a track volume automation now creates an undo step. That's good. Smart in autoplay using Groove 1 with smart strings is now properly in sync when playing. Oh, wow. Oh, now probably see we're playing A minor, G minor, B minor, and B flat minor. So there were just 4 minor chords that would make the smart strings go out of sync. Who's finding this, by the way? I know who's finding it. I'm in the Facebook groups of the people finding these things. The Erhu instrument no longer exhibits hanging notes. I actually got a question about this from someone the other day. Hello, Emilio. Yeah, I got a question that they said the Erhu kept hanging on them. And I'm like, oh, I haven't had that. Input monitoring levels are now reliably controlled by the track level settings. Okay, good. The piano roll now shows automation lane for sustain when the pencil is activated. Okay. Automation lane, yeah. So, yeah, there was problems with the sustain as well. Okay. When sharing a song as an uncompressed audio file, the sample rate now defaults to 48 kilohertz. It does? Why? Doesn't it record in 44.1? That's wacky. So it's converting it. So does that mean you have a 48 kilohertz setting for recording? We'll have to check this. Global Tracks addresses the issue where the follow song key on off state wasn't recognized when making a key change from major to minor. Okay, that's good. All right, general, we've got GarageBand now continues to output audio when the sound recognition accessibility setting is enabled on your device. Okay. When zoomed into the tracks area, dragging the playhead no longer unexpectedly enables auto scroll. We saw that before. Audio on GarageBand now continues to function if audio unit extension plugins are deleted from the currently active song. Nice. And it's now possible to drag audio file from files to the sampler. Okay, so big things here. Drag and drop. So you can now drag and drop audio into GarageBand. You could before, and it would just crash. They fixed that scrolly-wolly thing. There's some of those weird ones there. We'll test the drummer swiping in a moment, and we'll have a look at that automation stuff. So should we check out some of this stuff now? Why not? Yes, you can now. They're not only Apple anti-Australia, they're anti B flat minor. Just remember that. Remember that they're anti B flat minor. Okay. Let's jump into GarageBand with its new logo there and check out some of this stuff. Before I play with stuff, of course, we're going to, I'll use this track, but I'm going to duplicate it and call it something different. Rename it to We're OK GB Test. All right, let's open this up. So the first thing, so if you saw my thing, I want my hanging Erhu chords back. Let me just turn this up because I turned this down for its exporting and you won't be able to hear it very well. Let's give it some gain. So I saw nothing about auto normalization. Couldn't they have just thrown us a bone and put that in there as well? So here was the problem with your automation before. We're going to automation here. See how I have to put that middle one in there? Yeah, that's a thing. In fact, I'm going to have to go out of this because I've already got my automation fade out on all these. So let's just go to an old version of this that doesn't have the fade out. Actually, I reckon version 3 doesn't. Yeah. So, not great. So let's say we're just fading out this one. So if we wanted to fade this out, we would go to the track, we would go to automation, and we would turn on our dealy, and we would go bump, bump, beep, and that should fade it out, right? Let's see if it does. Yay! So they didn't mention that as an automation bug, but it might have been related to that other one. So the workaround used to be, before this update, that you had to put a ka-chunk. You had to do that. Otherwise, it would just go from that straight to that. It wouldn't have any of that sort of slow fade there. All right, we should be able to go back to our other track now. Actually, let's undo that. All right, we'll go out of there. Back to our test, GarageBand test track here. So what else do we have? Let's drag and drop some audio files, baby. So if we come in here and in window this is telling us that we should be able to drag and drop. Oh, except here's GarageBand won't let you go any smaller than this. No. So that's the thing. But if we open the Files app, Files, and we find an audio file, let's go to my audio share folder. That's always got audio files in it. And you know what? We'll bring in the actual whole song of We're Right. So let's bring this in here. And now we should be able to drag and drop onto a fresh track. And nothing happened. Oh, it did that time. But it put it onto, hang on. This is still not good. So it looks like it's going to let you. So that, to me, looks like it's going to go onto the next track, right? Okay, now it does. You just got to hold it and be a bit slow. Got to be slow. They called you slow. So that's a good thing. That's my way overblown master of that. So that's a good thing. It also said that we could do this with the sampler. Actually, it said we could swipe across the drummers. Hey! Poof. poof, poof. So I'm swiping. So you basically just grab them and flick them across rather than having to hit them and come in here. I mean, again, okay, but was that a change that people were asking for? Just be able to swipe your drummer across? Jasper. Oh, Jasper. All right, so that's a thing. Cool. Let's do a sampler track. So this means it reckons we should just be able to drag and drop a sample. Let's find a sample in my... We'll go to my Studio Live Today folder and find some nice quick sample here. Swap my name, Studio Live Today, and we'll go into my music. Where are they? That loops. Go into bass. Now it's got my cloud storage is full. That's I've filled up 4 terabytes. Hurrah! So when it's not downloaded, oh, don't open in ThumbJam and then crash. Why did you do that? All right, let's come back over here. If I just drag it over here, so whereabouts do I drag it onto, I wonder? Maybe you have to go to the open part here. Can we drag it to there? Or does it have to actually already have been downloaded? We'll just go back to audio share. It won't like it, me pulling in like a whole thing, a whole mastered file here. But if I just try this, no. Where does it think it can drag and drop into the sampler? Or do I have to drag it up into the actual track? Maybe it has to go into the track. Sampler track. This audio file is imported into the sampler to create a new sampler instrument. Oh, okay. I get it. So if we try and go back to those bass samples now, this is riveting stuff, isn't it? No. Hey, I know my audience. You folks want to know this stuff. This is the nerd level. All the people that aren't giant nerds have already left us before. We'll go back into my... Oh, I've got a samples folder. Let's go in here. And so if I drag this into here, it'll download it and then it'll pop it in. Will it? Let's have a look. Yes, it does. So that's pretty cool. But it does. I see. It didn't change the thing until we went away from it and back in again. So it still seems a bit buggy. Let's put a different sample in there. So if we go, let's throw this sample in there. So it doesn't show the correct sample until you go off and then come back in again. And then can we trim it? No. There we go. It's still, look, the sample's always been a bit crud. I mean, yeah. Maybe it's because they're not downloaded. So if I go back to this one, it's weird that you don't drop it onto there. You have to drop it up here onto the track. And then when it's there, it won't. I mean, isn't this basic testing before you throw something? And then I can't trim it until like last time it wouldn't let me trim it either until I went details and then back out again. And then it let me trim it. Now it's not letting me trim it at all. Oh, there it goes. Oh. See, now it's working fine. Oh, it's so bizarre. Okay. What else do we have? Anything else of interest? Look, it's not a massive update. I guess the good thing is that you can just drag and drop. You don't have to use the silly GarageBand file transfer folder thing. So that's all okay. Drummer we've looked at. Plugins. Drag and dropping audio. That's not plugins related. Why is that under plugins? And it says that again down the bottom. I think that's incorrect. I think they've rushed this thing. Erhu. Let's Erhu it. Yep. It did say to fix the Erhu. I want the Erhu hang. Hanging her. The hanging Erhu. Where's our world instrument? World Erhu. All right. Yes. No hanging. No fuss, no muss. Wrong key. Oh, mate. What did it say about automation? There was some automation. Volume automation curves are now properly included when duplicating a track. Okay, so that's cool. And there was something about when you did something, undo. Toggling track volume automation now creates, it creates an undo step. So that's cool. So if we come back out to here, if we toggled track automation on or off, so coming in here, automation, toggle it off. Oh no, I wanted it back on. Let's undo that. Hey, workage. What's that song I was playing? Yes, it's the one with the horse effect thing. What is that? Do I have to go? Yeah, I've got to go soon. It's got it under here. What the heck is that? Look, Bar. What on earth weird background noise is that creating? Wow. Okay, it's gone away now. I just had to play and stop it. So yeah, we created some more problems. We fixed those hanging notes, Johns. Like now you've got like a weird heavy breathing sound underneath it for no reason. This is a classic example of why updating is not always the case, not always a good thing to do. Because yeah, old bug fixed, new bugs no longer fixed. What were we talking? Oh yeah, how are we going to find? Does anyone know where the Sweet Cream lead synth preset is? Let's see if we can find the Sweet Cream lead, that one. I don't know. Oh mate, I'm not a big bug hunting fan to be perfectly honest, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what's a little metallic? It's just like the old tape days, mate. It's just like the tape hiss that we used to put up with when we were recording. Let's see if we can find this. It'd be under our keys, and I'm assuming if it's a lead synth, it must be. Is it in alcohol? Now we're in the friggin' sampler again, aren't we? Sampler. Jimmy say sampler? Oh god, it's a sampler. Oh, keyboards. So synth leads. What was it? The Sweet Cream. There it is. Oh, it's in the Selection sound pack. And what did it say it did? It can open reliably if they have this. So how annoying would that be? You've got this great song that you've played.
Everybody feels like they don't have a place in the world.
So yes, your sweet cream is safe with us now. Echo Wah, that's cool. Project includes moving sound preset now. Can be no longer unexpected space missing satellite. Well, that's cool too. Changing the key signature, audio output continues to function even after undoing or replacing tape recording. Yep. And now let's look at these export. Let's look at these export options. So if we jump out, actually first we'll look at our advanced setting here. So 24-bit resolution. So it's interesting that it's now saying it will default to 48 kilohertz. And I know a lot of people use 48 kilohertz. I've always used 44.1 just because GarageBand only ever had 44.1. So song here. But that says 44.1, 24-bit. What is it talking about? What does it say? Excuse me, GarageBand, what you talking about? When sharing a song as an uncompressed, the sample rate now defaults. Defaults? I mean, well, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't. Huh. Yes, DistroKid does allow 24-bit waves. Yes, always do 24-bit. What is it talking about? Maybe it's when you create a new song. Let's create a new song. Let's use the Sweet Cream lead synth. There you go. So we've got this beautiful piece of music with the Sweet Cream lead synth. And now we're going to close out of it. And now we're going to export it. Share it. That's the song. Where's it getting 48 kilohertz from then? I don't get it. Yeah, because there's nothing in here that says anything about the sample rate. Let's actually export it and see what it actually does. Maybe there's another. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong screen still. Maybe there's another bug that's causing this. Let's share this. So it definitely said where there's an uncompressed WAV file, but these are all still showing 44.1. So let's just share it anyway. Share it anyway and open it in. Open it in audio share. Come on, sunshine. All right, well, it's taken a long time to export one tiny little file. CL, what say you, audio share? 24-bit, 44.1. So, yeah. Scratching head, because when sharing a song as an uncompressed audio file, the sample rate now defaults to 48 kilohertz. It doesn't. It just doesn't. And Global Tracks address the issue with the follow song key on off wasn't recognized. We're making a key change from minor. So yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. So some of those things are a thing, and some are very much not. So yeah, look, I'll make my video about it and say what it does do and doesn't do. But yeah, it's a lot of those things created new things. That weird Erhu bug that we had there, and then yeah, why would it tell you it did that if it didn't do that? I don't know. All right, well, we might leave it there for today. If you haven't already hit the like button and told all the other GarageBand fans of the world that we do this show and we talk about a lot of stuff, and sometimes we go half an hour overtime, then feel free to do that. And yeah, stay tuned, because up next in about 45 minutes, Mr. Frank Terzo, if you're watching here live, has the community pulse, and Frank's guest today is Frank. So celebrating 5 years on YouTube, which will be very cool. So jump on over there. You'll be set there if you're watching this one live. If not, go check out Frank. He's a good dude. He does good things. There you go. There's the link for you if you would like to go there to Frank Terzo from the amazing Thomas Christ, who tried to help me out, who was going to give me those release notes until he realized that sometimes you just got to change from Australia to the US and then all is revealed. Not that it really helped us, because a lot of those things just did a thing. Did 26.1 just drop as well? I mean, it's keeping me busy. It's keeping me busy for the rest of it. Let's have a look before we go. Let's make sure that if 26.1 did indeed just drop, if it is available as a software update. It is indeed. Look at that. 26.1. So yeah, be surprised when I do a 26.1 what's new update and a GarageBand 2.3.18 what's new update there. All right, that is going to do it actually this time for the show. Again, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, keep creating, and I'll see you next time here on GarageBand Weekly. Bye for now.